Hey guys, what's up? It's Nate, and today I'm bringing you Paranormal Talk, Episode 3, My Story Part 3. I'm sorry I haven't got a chance to make this video. As you guys know, my life outside of YouTube comes first. I finally have a little bit of spare time today, so I'm going to try and get this made. If you've watched the previous two installments, you know a little bit about the history of what happened to me, at my parents' house, a little bit of the dreams that I've had, and a little bit of history on the location that I'm about to talk about in a small town called Clayhatchee. So Clayhatchee, what can we say about Clayhatchee? Um, Very small town. Population couldn't be more than 300, 350 people. Police department closes at like 9 o'clock. And it's one of those places that if you don't live on the main road, when you shut your lights off, it's pitch dark. Like you can't see your hand in front of your face inside of your own house dark. So it's kind of out there in the boonies, so to speak. Well, me and my ex-wife rented this trailer, and ironically, my brother used to rent it before us. And he moved directly, I think it was like 2 lots over from us. Like I could throw my football and hit his trailer. Well, he used to tell me when he was staying there, at times you would feel uncomfortable in the place, uh, especially at around 11 o'clock midnight. If you were going to the bathroom or you're taking a shower, the bathroom was really uncomfortable. You always felt like someone was watching you. Now, I never experienced that while I was over there visiting him, or say I was babysitting and I crashed there that night. I'd never personally experienced any of that until I moved in. So he moved out. We're moving in. I think it's our second day of having the place. We hadn't even stayed the night there yet. Me and my ex-wife were in the back bedroom unpacking, and I have one of those portable shoe racks that I'm hanging over the door. So we have the door shut. My brother is watching my daughter during this process, and we hear from the front door all the way down to our bedroom door footsteps. It sounded like a child running through the house. See the door handle jiggle. Door's unlocked, but door never opens. So I was like, okay, well, that's kind of odd. I opened up the door, no one there. My ex-wife looked at me and she said, what do you mean there's no one there? I clearly heard footsteps and the door handle moved. I said, yeah, I saw the door handle move. I heard the footsteps, but there's no one here. I walked down to the living room. Front door shut. Not only is it shut, it's dead bolted. Now, the reason for that being, the front door was kind of funky when we first moved into the place. If you didn't shut it right, the wind would blow the door open. So we made sure to deadbolt it as an extra precaution. It kind of became a habit, and I still do it to this day. I walk in and I'll shut the door and I'll deadbolt it. It just became a habit. But, anyways, off on a pig trail there. So we're trying to figure out where these footsteps came from. My initial thought, what's the possibility of the children being next door playing at my brother's house, them running through his trailer, the sound reverberates across and we can hear it in our trailer? Is that possible? Yeah, absolutely it's possible. I'm not going to sit there and say that the footsteps were paranormal in any way, shape, or form, because that can honestly be explained by simple acoustics. However, the door handle moving almost half a turn by itself, that one I kind of cannot explain. Still have never been able to. So when we were living here, moved in, settled down, I used to work a lot of night shifts. I'd go in at 4 o'clock, sometimes 11 in the morning, and stay until 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning. So I did this. We had, bills and we needed the money. If someone was supposed to be there at 11 and they called out, they called me, I'd go in. So I was pulling, God, I don't know, 60, 70 hours a week, sometimes if not more than that. Well, I come home, as I said, sometime between 2 and 4 in the morning. Kitchen light would be on, and I'd see, shadow walk by the window. I'm sitting there, okay, well, my ex-wife's awake. So let me go inside, talk with her, see how her night's going. I don't know what she's doing awake, but go inside. Go inside, and everyone's sound asleep. Ain't no one in the house awake. And I remember seeing the figure for the first time about 4 weeks after we moved in, roughly. And I saw it on a quite regular basis, about once a week. Definitely a female figure. I would say approximately 5'5" max. And just the hairstyle told me it was female. Like you could see how it was kind of flowing in the back. Unless it was a spirit of a dude who had a really awesome mullet, it was definitely female. So, probably about 8 months into us staying there, we had random occurrences that would happen. The uncomfortable feelings in the bathroom that my brother used to feel, I started feeling. Like I wouldn't take a shower without having the shower curtain cracked open about this much, just so I could see out of it and make sure no one was in there. items would get misplaced. I'd put my keys on the key ring. I'd wake up and they'd be on the counter. Or I'd put my shoes by the door where we typically would keep them. I'd wake up and they'd be in the hallway by our bedroom. There was displacement of objects, and that was the first thing that I honestly should have probably found as majorly weird. Yes, I know what you guys are thinking though. The shadow in the window, you wouldn't find that weird. Yes, I would, but I personally believe there should have been a way I could explain that. I can't explain displacement of objects. We'd have electrical malfunctions. We'd sit there in the living room, TV would shut itself off. Sometimes the lights would shut off. Sometimes the sink, I'd come home from work and the sink would be running when I know for a fact my ex-wife would have shut it off. So many different things over an 8-month to year period. And the culmination of it came beginning of July 2006, I want to say it was, maybe 2007. Come home from work, got off early. It was about 1:30 in the morning. I lay down in bed and I'm drifting off to sleep. I finally fall asleep. I wasn't laying there too long. I was pretty tired. And I had a dream that I was being attacked by something that I couldn't see. It was in a pitch black and I could feel the hands around my neck. It's probably the most frightened I think I had ever been. Excuse me, I'm going to get a drink of my coffee real quick. Now, I woke up from this dream and I clearly woke up, but I couldn't move. I felt a pressure, like on my chest. Felt hands around my throat. It almost felt like I had someone sitting on my chest, someone was holding my arms in place, and someone was trying to choke me at the same time. I couldn't see anything in front of my face, although I know the bathroom light over the sink was on because it wasn't very bright, but it gave a little bit of ambient light so we could get up and walk around the house at night. And I knew that light was on and our door was open, but I couldn't see anything. Finally, I'm sitting there and I'm trying to move. And after what seemed like 20 minutes, although I'm sure it wasn't 20 minutes, I'm sure it was only like 2 or 3 minutes. If you ever experienced the phenomenon known as sleep paralysis, you will know how scary it is and how you think 1 minute is an hour. It's one of the freakiest things you'll ever encounter. So I finally shake it off. I sit up and look, and there, standing at the foot of the bed, was a figure. Definitely male. I'd say 5'9" to 6 foot, somewhere in that range. Eyes had no shine. I could see the whites, and that was it. The rest of the outline was like a solid figure, like it didn't have arms. It didn't look like it had arms. And as I was staring at it, it drifted backwards into the hallway. Didn't walk, floated. You could tell by the way it moved. Kind of glided backwards into the hallway. And I remember watching it, thinking, my daughters are down there sleeping. And I saw it start to dissipate as it was reaching probably a quarter away from my door down the hallway. Hit about halfway, it completely disappeared, and the light bulb in the hallway light turned on, got bright, and shattered. I can explain a lot of things. I cannot explain what would make a light bulb turn itself on, get so hot that it would shatter. And this figure, it made it to where I couldn't sleep for days. I stayed up days and I researched and I was trying to figure out what happened. And I came across what was known as the old hag attack. And it's basically a similar experience to what happened to me, only typically you would see females, not males. And it prompted me to push forward with wanting to know and understand the occurrences, the displacement of the objects, the shadows I was seeing, and what happened to me while I was sleeping that night, the dreams, what happened to me at my parents' house. I wanted to understand it all. So it pushed me in July to form the Southeastern Ghost Research Association. And I've been hunting the paranormal ever since. I was afraid of it. But when it comes down to it, you can't let fear control your every move. You have to take it, good with the bad, and live your life. And I like to live my life investigating the paranormal, knowing that I might be able to go into a place where residents have kids and they're experiencing something that I could possibly help them with. You know, I could explain it to where maybe they wouldn't be as afraid. Maybe they would feel empowered to take their house back. Or I could go into a place that's abandoned, like an old jail, as we investigated in Coffee County, Alabama. Or not Coffee County, I'm sorry, Elba. Coffee County was a cemetery. And I remember going into the Elba County Jail, and the history of the place was just amazing. Sheriff Grantham was shot and killed on the front steps of the jail. And as a matter of fact, we investigated the old jail 20 years to the day of his fatal shooting. And you could feel the energy in the place. But ultimately, these experiences are what got me into investigating the paranormal to begin with. So with this series, what I hope to do is to educate people on the paranormal, different aspects of it, different pieces of equipment that I'll bring out and I'll show you guys and, you know, mess around with a little bit. Gonna test some urban legends. We're gonna do the Bloody Mary legend. We're gonna do the Candyman legend. Certain ones I won't do just because I feel it would be unsafe for me to do them because of what I've already had a trap with me in the past. But if I can overcome that fear, I will test them. If you have any ideas, please shout them out. Leave them in the comments. Let me know what your ideas are for different things I can test. If there's any questions you want to know, please feel free to ask. I'll answer them the best I can in a future video. So that's basically my story, guys. That's what happened to me. And I apologize it took me so long to film this series. Hopefully in the coming future, the videos will be more frequent and I won't have to kind of rush, I feel, to get them done. I could sit down and focus. But that's basically what happened to me, guys. And I hope that it enlightened you a little bit as to why I do what I do, why I enjoy what I do. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask. That was Paranormal Talk, Episode 3, My Story's Conclusion. Nate, signing off. Y'all have a good night.